What's up, Discmaniacs? Gannon Buhr here. I'm very excited to be on Team Discmania. I'm going to be trying out some of the new stuff from the lineup, and today I'll be showing you guys what's going to be hopefully making the bag for 2024. Alright, we're going to start off with putting putters. I've kind of been between the Exahard Link and the D-Line P3X. I've kind of fallen in love with the D-Line P3X a little bit more though. I liked how it has almost no glide when I putt. That way it's kind of more of a pitch motion. I feel like it's a little more accurate, a little bit better in wind, and these have a little more stability. So I kind of put them up there on those 45-foot putts. They go the distance and they fade right into the basket. Very reliable in wind, which is very important for me, especially on tour. We have a lot of wind, it seems like sometimes. I think that's what I'm going to be putting with for the start of the 2024 season. Next up for a throwing putter, I have the Exahard Link. I've been talking with some of my friends, Gavin, and he really likes these for slight hyzer flip-ups, getting that nice hyzer release, straight push out of the hand, and going forward. And these actually kind of crush. I can get these to go pretty dang far for a putter. Feel really reliable. I like the bead. I like how it feels in my hand, and definitely will be useful for even forehand scramble shots. All right, next up I have my straight throwing putter. I'm actually bagging a Flex 3 Rainmaker for my dead straight shots. This one might come in and out of the bag. I'm not really sure how much I like it yet, but right now it's kind of like the Link, but just goes straighter and maybe even finishes a little bit left at the end. Can handle a little bit more torque. Really good if I'm just having a 360-foot hole where I just need to rip one straight. Just goes dead straight, maybe finishes a little bit left. Very consistent, and I like the stiff feel of the plastic. It's really tacky. Very good in those hot, humid conditions. My final approach putter is the Vapor Tactic. Now, this is kind of a disc I've never really had in my bag before, where it's a very good backhand approach putter and can also be used for forehands, but it has a very, 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 very torque-resistant profile where I can really rip this one on Anheuser. I know it's going to slowly kind of come out of the flex the entire flight. I've also been kind of digging the new C-Line P3X. It has a very similar flight. I'm kind of, toying with each of them, trying to see which one I like better. Right now, just kind of testing out the tactic, and I like it a lot. Also, like I said, to the fact you can forehand it, which is really nice. On my mid-ranges, now the mid-ranges is something I'm really trying to figure out because I like to throw straight to overstable mid-ranges. After talking with some Discmania players, the MD3 seems to be a very popular choice. So starting off, I have this C-Line MD3. Right now, it's actually got a little bit of dome to it, which I actually kind of enjoy. I think it kind of gives a little more glide, a little bit of a smoother fade. A little bit of Anheuser out of the hand. I can get this pan out to flat, push forward, and go a little bit left at the end. If I need a shot 400 feet dead straight, but I want to put a lot of power behind it, this is probably what I'm going to be throwing. Next up, I have an S-Line MD3. Now this one has also a little bit of dome to it. It's kind of just like that blue one, but has a little more flip over to it. And so if I throw this one hard flat, it's going to drift right just barely. And so it's really nice for those shots in the woods. I feel like that's a very common shot and a very predictable shot is where you hang it out left, get on the Anheuser, it's going to drift right the entire flight. This one feels really good in my hand. Love the plastic. Can't wait to work with this one more. And finally, I have an old Glow C-Line MD3. This one's really beat up. And this is my really understable mid-range. So I can throw it on a lot of hyzer. It'll flip up, glide to the right, have that good finish. You can kind of tell I like the slight dome on my mid-ranges. I think it gives it a little bit more of a cleaner flight, slower turning, and slower fading as well. And this is going to be a workhorse in the woods for sure. I'm really excited to kind of use this more and see what kind of new shots I can throw with this disc. Here's another disc that's going to be a staple in my bag for 2024 is the C-Line MD5. Now, this is a very, very important disc in my bag because I throw so much Anheuser on backhand and forehand shots. Whenever I'm in the woods or something and I need to kind of make sure I hit the line, I like to put a little Anheuser on my forehands, chop it. This one likes to come out, and I actually like it. It actually has a really good amount of glide on backhands as well. And this disc will never flip over. It has a nice small diameter as well, very similar to a putter. And it kind of gives that feel where you have a little bit more control over the angle and the flight of the disc. And so, this is going to be thrown a ton. I can't wait to play with it more, especially when it gets a little more beat in. I think it'll become nice laser beam out of the hand and still have that consistent fade. But MD5, no matter which one you pick up, it's going to be consistent, overstable every time. And you're going to see every Discmania Pro have one of these in the bag. So that was it for my mid-ranges. Moving on to my fairway drivers. I'm actually having a really, really tough time trying to find what my fairway driver lineup will look like because Discmania has so many good fairway drivers. I literally can't choose. But I have a couple no-brainers that I know for sure I'll be bagging. Here is the Neo Splice along with the Horizon FD3. These complement each other really well. The Splice is going to be consistent no matter what. This thing is only going to go to hyzer angle. Always, no matter how much chop angle you put on it, forehand or backhand, this thing's going to save you strokes. For me, I like it kind of in that 330 to 350 range, where it's that power where I'm really throwing it really hard, but I'm getting it to go the distance, get on that spike hyzer angle and fall to the ground. This thing will never be affected by any wind. I'm really excited to throw this. The FD3, this one's got a little bit of dome to it. I know Gavin's been loving these, so I've been trying this one out. And this one is kind of like the Splice, but with a little more glide. Now I can probably get this one up to 400 feet if I need to. And I think this will probably be my most thrown fairway driver. It's very, very consistent. The stiffness of the plastic's perfect. The grip works good forehand and backhand. It's just really the perfect fairway driver in my opinion for kind of what I'm trying to do with my flex lines out of my hand. I'm really known for that type of a shot. And with this amount of overstability and glide, complements itself really well. I do have one more FD3 I'm trying out. This is a Glow FD3. A little bit of a straighter run of them. And so I like this for just laser beam shots. I can throw it, 400 feet dead straight on a rope, and then it'll get a little fade at the end, where the Horizon one kind of starts to fade a little bit earlier. And that's pretty much all I use it for. Also, straighter forehands as well. Here is one of my favorite fairway drivers actually is the C-Line FD1. Pretty new release from Discmania. This disc is the perfect fairway driver in my opinion. Now for people that don't really like super overstability like the FD3 or the Splice, the FD1 will be a very, very good choice if you're looking for something to push a little more straight. But for me, I can throw this, it's that, it's kind of 7-8 speed disc where you can rip it really fast, put a lot of power into it, but the disc is going to handle it while not being too overstable. And so this is very versatile. I can throw this on anhyzers. I want to hold the entire flight. Flat shots, I want to push forward and finish left. A little bit straighter than what the Glow FD3 will do. I'm really looking forward to throwing this in the woods. My preferred angle is just flat out of the hand. And I think even, maybe a little headwind, I can get it to turn just a little bit, kind of hold that angle the whole flight. Really excited to be throwing this. And the new C-Line plastic is feeling incredible. It's got great stiffness, great durability, which I've realized. And yeah, I'm looking forward to testing this out and seeing how this beats up throughout the year. Here is a C-Line PD. Now this is kind of like the FD1's bigger brother. This is just a little bit straighter. I can put a little more power into this and it's gonna go, the extra 30 feet. This one might be my favorite disc that I've been trying out so far, just because I've really never had something like this where I can throw it flat. It just goes flat for 400 feet and stays flat. But also never really thinks too much about turning over or fading that much. And it's also nice for kind of a laser beam forehand as well. And so the PD, really good. C-Line plastic as well, feels great. Nice stiffness, beats up really nice. Here's actually an Instinct. This is actually in the C-Line plastic. And the Instinct, I've been kind of trying out that versus the FD right now for this slightly understable fairway shot, where you kind of hang it out left, let it get the glide right, and hold the entire way. And I think I like the Instinct a lot. I like the way it feels, especially in the C-Line plastic. It's just slightly understable for me, and so I can really rip it. And I mean, all these fairway drivers complement each other amazing because they're all just a slight difference, but enough to where if I do need that shot, I'm gonna have it. And so, I can't wait to, be in that 400-foot range and just feel so confident that I'll be able to put it next to the basket. Next, I have a Color Glow FD in the bag. This one is my most understable fairway driver right now. I have been messing with the Essence a little bit for rollers and kind of scramble shots, fun shots, but the FD is pretty flippy for me, especially this run of them. I put this on a slight hyzer, holds and glides the entire way just a little bit more than that Instinct. And so, once again, I've never really had a fairway driver like this before, and I'm really looking forward to improving my game in that 400-foot range. The FD is also a great disc for beginners, very straight out of the box. All the stock ones are amazing, so go check them out. Those are my fairway drivers. Let's move on to the drivers. Starting off, I do have two PD2s in the bag. I have this S-Line one, which is my most overstable. The perfect lineup for the distance drivers in terms of a tour player like myself is, I think, two really overstable drivers, and you have three workable drivers. So these are my two overstable ones. Now the PD2 is very overstable. Very meant for power players or players that like to have a good fade at the end of the flight, and you can put a lot of torque into this and it's gonna handle it really well. It'll come out of that wobble nice, it'll really push through the air a little bit better, fight the wind nice. So the PD2 I use for flex driver shots anywhere within 500 feet where I need to put it on Anheuser, get it to flex out. And now this C-Line one is just a little bit straighter than that. It's got a little more dome, so it's got a little more glide. So if I need, this one will probably be used a little bit more, but if I need some more air time, I'm probably gonna be using this C-Line one. I have the Horizon run of DD3. Now this run is probably one of the best runs of DD3 ever made, especially these kind of teal and black ones. Very, very overstable. It's got that slight dome that I'm really looking for whenever I'm trying to grab a disc that I'm trying to keep in the fairway, but also go like 500 feet. I think this will be used, complemented with that blue PD2 quite a bit. Plastic feels amazing, great stiffness, and good for forehands as well. Two more DD3s. I have this C-Line one that I've been trying out. This one is just a little bit flippier than that, and so I can put it out there left, get to glide right the entire flight, and this will probably be my furthest flying disc. Maybe this S-Line DD3. We're gonna have to find out, but this one's gonna be a little more stable than this one. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this for forehands as well, because I think this will get that good push I'm looking for, but still have a nice fade. And then I have the S-Line one, which is, this one's actually a little bit beat up, and so I can get that kind of late turn out of it. Hyzer flip, kind of hold the entire flight. And this will be my forehand bomber for sure. If you're seeing me throw a forehand that goes pretty far for myself, it's gonna be probably this DD3. And the last driver I actually have in my bag is the S-Line DD. I don't know a lot of players who really throw this run or this disc, but I think it's very underrated. And I think, you know, I think a lot of AMs will really love this disc because of how much, you know, it complements myself and AMs alike, to where I can throw this 500 feet, get to late flip and slow glide the whole way. And someone maybe who throws 350 feet can also get it to go pretty dead straight. And it has a very good resistance to fade. It doesn't like to fade a lot, but it also doesn't turn a ton. If I'm like 450, 460 out, I'm just gonna put this out there left. It's gonna glide right the whole way, finish right. All right, so that's what I've been trying out for my bag so far. Like I said, some things may be added, some things may be taken out. It's kind of a rough draft right now, and I'm really looking forward to trying this stuff out more rounds with it and kind of seeing how it really fits my game. And thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more content, and I can't wait for the rest of 2024.